Did you have a dream or a vision of what you wanted to do, or were you just exploring?
Absolutely not. I had absolutely no idea.
What did you think you were going to do?
I had absolutely no idea.
You did?
Because to be honest, like I went through like 6 degrees when I was in college, and one of my friends said, hey, there's a hotel and restaurant management program. Why don't you do that? And I said, okay. Because she's like, you like to entertain, you like to cook. Why don't you do hotel and restaurant management? And I'm like, okay. Because I could not find what I wanted to do.
The best way to support the Work and Play podcast is by subscribing to the YouTube channel and by going to your favorite podcast player to subscribe and rate the Work and Play podcast. That's all you have to do. So if you are liking the Work and Play podcast, the content, the stories that we're sharing, and you know that this will help someone, go ahead and share the content to someone who could actually use it and help them on their journey to transition from corporate into entrepreneurship. Now let's get back into the episode.
Welcome to another episode of the Work and Play podcast. I'm your host and career transformation coach, Ariel Young. And today I have a really, really dope energy in the room. For you, those of you guys who can't see her, she's got all the vibes. It's really, really dope meeting her. And so those of you guys who do see her, I want to go ahead and introduce Miss Keedra Keeley in the house. Miss Keedra Kitchens. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. There's so much that we can get into. Y'all, before we even got into this episode, we were talking in the back end just dreams and manifestations and energy. And honestly and truly, I can't wait to get into like what exactly you're doing these days because it's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so without further ado, would you please introduce yourself to the peeps?
Yes, I am Keedra of Keedra's Kitchen. I am a personal chef and caterer. I have been cooking since college, which was 2000. So I've been doing it for a very long time. A little bit of in, out, but we finally got in and made it. And stayed in. But yeah,
that's the story. Now, I met you at you were catering, and the first question, I asked you, do we have any vegan options? And your food is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
One of the things like with our industry, and as entrepreneurs, you go to like a lot of conferences, right? And I love to get the gym. So as a vegan, I typically will pack up all of my stuff. Like in my book bag, I have my little fruit in my bag, and I'm at a conference just digging down in my bag, just make sure I'm not hungry. Because when they say vegan options available, they mean a little bit of lettuce, maybe some oil and vinegar. They can go grab you some salt and pepper if you ask for it, and I have to like do my own thing. Your food tastes like it was made with love.
Oh,
it was not a say. It was girl. So when you say you've been doing it since 2001, it makes sense. But I kind of am selfish, so I kind of want to know, when did you start to like cater or start to include vegan options as you were evolving in business?
So I started vegan options in 2019. I moved to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. My stepfather had passed away, so I had went down there to move with my mom for a little bit after he had passed. And shortly after, that's when COVID had hit. So I was stuck in the house. And I was like, I need to lose some weight. I'm not about to be stuck in this house gaining weight. I'm about to lose some weight. And someone had told me, even though I gained it all back, somebody told me about intermittent fasting. They were like, you can eat whatever you want, just as long as you eat between this window. I did that the first day, and then I was like, I think I kind of want to change it up a little bit. And so I went on this whole journey. It was like, it wasn't only just the eating journey, but it was like a spiritual journey, just like within myself. I didn't go anywhere. I was just in my apartment and just went on this whole journey. And naturally, I just started changing what I was eating. And I call it plant-based catarian. Okay. So like it's plant-based. It's no dairy.
Okay.
Or at least no, so the dairy that I was doing, like if I made some cornbread and I had to add milk, some buttermilk, I would allow myself that dairy.
Okay.
But I don't drink milk. I drink like almond milk and stuff like that. So it was plant-based, minimal dairy or structured dairy, And then the only thing I ate as far as like protein or like meat was like fish, seafood, stuff like that.
Okay.
No red meat, no pork, no anything like that.
Okay.
So it's plant-based caterer for the pescatarian.
Yes, okay. It was cute because I got the caterer, but no. Okay, so you're in the house, vibing out, going through your own spiritual journey, and you're just testing out different foods.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I know, your food is really, really good.
Thank you.
So did you realize, like, how did you recognize the difference between the healthy vegan stuff that you were making and the stuff that's still gonna like put you on a couple pounds?
So I just taking my knowledge just about food, then I stayed away from the processed stuff. And so for instance, I would take like chickpeas and make like a jerk chickpea. I love chicken salad, right? So I made like a jerk chickpea salad that was very reminiscent of my jerk chicken salad. Has all the same ingredients as my jerk chicken salad except for no chicken, chickpeas instead. So I like made zucchini fritters, like what I have bought for you, you know. I was experimenting. You know how we make potato cakes? Parents used to make potato cakes,
like little Johnny cakes.
Yeah. My parents used to take potatoes, mashed potatoes, put them in a little patty, put them on the pan, fry them up, whatever. I did the same thing with zucchini. I just shredded it down. Did what I did to it, and actually ended up coming up tasting like a crab cake. Because I was taking the ingredients that I took to make a crab cake, and the only thing that wasn't in there, even though I was eating crab, but the only thing that wasn't in there was the crab. Everything else was, I used vegan mayo.
That's how you binded it. I was going to ask how you binded it. Okay.
Yep. Panko. I bind it with actually the panko because the zucchini is gonna render off like a lot of water once you or a lot of liquid once you shred it up.
Okay.
And so I strain that, but then I go back in and I just add some vegan panko to it. Girl. And then with all the other stuff, and then that kind of give a little firmness, and then you put it up and put it in a pan and fry it up just like a potato cake.
Well, I am grateful.
So it was just the experimentation of it. I had the time to just experiment since we were in the house.
Yes, as a lot of people did. You mentioned even your spiritual journey in 2020. That was a huge awakening for a lot of people. But you started your business way before then. So let's go back to when you actually started Keedra's Kitchen. What was the inception of that?
So Keedra's Kitchen or cooking?
Okay, let's start back with cooking.
Okay, so cooking. So I went to Eastern Michigan where I did a bachelor's degree in hotel and restaurant management.
Okay.
And I was able to do a consortium agreement with the community college around the corner, and they had culinary arts. I was always cooking for my friends in college. Hey, y'all come eat. So I was like, oh my God, that would be perfect to just go over there and like do culinary arts. So I did culinary arts. I was able to get the credit from it to go towards my degree, and bam. So at the community college, they used to have this board in the back for the students, and people would call in looking for a caterer, a student caterer, student personal chef, stuff like that. So I used to take stuff off the board, and that's how I did like my very first wedding. Oh my God, it was horrible.
Why do you say it was horrible? Like,
it was horrible. It was my first time doing it, so I was just like, I went to the dollar store and her budget was very small.
Okay.
Yeah, but I went to the dollar store and got stuff, and and I actually didn't charge enough. Ended up coming out of my pocket, but that's when I learned, okay, this is how to do food costs and stuff like that, what to charge. But that was my very first experience. That was horrible. So that was back in like 2002. And then I had another experience. This one lady had put something on the board, and it was about 3 of us that went over to her house. She had like a dinner party, and we cooked at the house for the dinner party. She already had her menu and everything, and that's when I really knew that I liked personal chefing. And so fast forward, it was a long time when I had got out of cooking. One of my bosses had really discouraged me, and I said, well, if this is how it's gonna be, I don't want to do it like this. I just rather do it entertaining my friends. So I went back to just entertaining my friends, and I went and got a regular job.
Yes. So when it came to, you know, that encounter with your boss, what was it? Was it more like the business side or the structure side that you didn't enjoy, or was it the kind of clients that you were catering to with this relationship?
So I was working at a country club, and it was just not so. Well, I'll be very honest. I don't like job structure. That's why I work for myself. I don't like clocking in. I don't like nobody telling me when I could take a vacation. I want to do what I want to do when it comes to my time, so the freedom. But that wasn't so much it, because I was in college, so it was, you know, my very first kitchen job. It was just the whole approach to being a manager, the boss, very rude and nasty. Came in the kitchen and was just like a total bitch. You know?
So kind of like that. What was that? What's that? We're not gonna call out any names, but that TV show where the guy is making everybody cry in the kitchen.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And she didn't even work in the kitchen. She wasn't a chef or anything. She was like one of the managers or whatever. And so I just hated it. And I loved being in the kitchen, but I hated dealing with that. And that's when I was like, if this is how it's going to be, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll just stick to catering for my friends and having them come over. I used to throw Super Bowl parties and just get together parties. Hey, come eat. And I enjoyed that so much more. So that's just how I did it.
Was that your last 9 to 5 or?
No.
Okay. So let me go back to, you were in college. You were studying sort of hospitality, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Now, were you learning the business part of it and then doing like the catering on the back end when you got the jobs?
So yes, I was learning the business part through the hotel and restaurant management degree. That's where I learned the business part, and then the catering was the consortium agreement.
Got it.
Yeah, and so I was doing the cooking and basically just learning techniques when you take the cooking classes.
Okay. So at the time, did you have a dream or a vision of what you wanted to do, or were you just exploring?
Absolutely not. I had absolutely no idea.
What did you think you were going to do?
I had absolutely no idea.
You did?
Because to be honest, like I went through like 6 degrees when I was in college, and one of my friends said, hey, there's a hotel and restaurant management program. Why don't you do that? And I said, okay. Because she's like, you know, you like to entertain, you like to cook. Why don't you do hotel and restaurant management? And I'm like, okay. Because I could not find what I wanted to do.
Are you still trying to get a leg up on your entrepreneurial career? Now, I told you about the Morning Meetup, the community that was created for the betterment of entrepreneurship. And we are cooking up some really cool things. Now, here's the thing. If you join today, you can actually get in for 60% of the original price. So if you join today, all you have to do is download the app, and I provided the link below so that you can join us. We have community, we have a book club, and it's the largest group that meets every single day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. to literally get a head start on entrepreneurship. So if you're still trying to grow, you don't know what your business is going to be, but you know you want to be an entrepreneur, this is the community for you. So check out the Morning Meetup, click the link below, download the app, and join us today.
I went in trying to be a nurse. Somewhere along the way, I became an educator.
Okay.
And then after that, I did sports medicine. I did like, what is it called? I tried to do like IT or whatever, computers, tech software, something like that. I was all over the place. And
As you should be.
Yeah.
You know, honestly and truly, that's the difference between your and my story. At this point, because I went and I honed in on business. I didn't care whether it was a good fit or not. I got that little degree. And that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Like, they don't explore, they get this degree, and then they get mad at the university because they're not using the degree. So in this process, as you're switching over, are you thinking, or how are you processing these shifts? Are you thinking, oh, I keep changing my degree? Or are you like, oh, this isn't working?
It took me 6 years to get out of college.
Oh.
Finally I saw all my friends graduating, and I was like, okay, I gotta stick with something just to get out. And that's what I stuck with, was the hotel and restaurant management and the cooking.
Well, it turns out that was a good decision.
I love to eat, so that was my motivating factor.
I love it. Hey, did you decide that at the time? You're like, okay, well, I can eat all day. So
Yeah.
And then it didn't turn. So it sounds like it wasn't a passion at the time. It was a decision to stick to something.
It was a decision to stick to something. The passion was more so eating. The passion was cooking. how that looked, I did not know at the time. So fast forward to 2013, I moved back down here to Atlanta because this is where I grew up. I moved back down to Atlanta, and I was in seminary over at the AU Center.
And seminary means like is that religious? Okay, so
yeah, religious.
Because I'll be wrong. You gotta educate me just a little bit.
No, that's where all the pastors go.
Okay.
To
get indoctrinated and stuff like
their
that.
Education.
Okay.
So I was in seminary and I needed to make some money. What do I know how to do? Cook. So guess what I started doing? Selling plates.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, y'all can come to Keedra's Kitchen and get you something to eat, and that's how Keedra's Kitchen was birthed.
What? That's so organic.
And I was like, people was like, hey sis, I need what's up on them plates? Let me get your phone number. I put their phone number in my phone. Every Monday, I send out a text message. This is the menu for tomorrow. Text me back, whoever wants something to eat. This is how much it is. And then they text back, hey, such and such, I want something. Okay, so I knew how much to get. And then Tuesdays, it was like clockwork. They knew exactly what time to come. I was in like a little efficiency on campus. It was a bedroom, a kitchen, a dining room, living room, all in one.
Okay.
So I used to clean it up really good, have the couch, set up real nice. People could come sit on the couch. The table had like a little round table, 2 seats. Put a little flour on the table. People come and sit down at the table, and I'm in the kitchen. They can either come to the door, knock, knock, knock. Okay, here you go, take, or you can come in and sit down.
That is amazing.
And I did that in between classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that they can come eat and I can make some money.
Okay, I got so many questions. First of all, why were you in seminary school?
Girl, I don't know myself. I thought so. Okay. Okay. So back when I lived in Maryland, I started a nonprofit organization called Speak Life, and I was going into detention centers. So this is the off the beaten path that I was from cooking. So one of them. I created a whole curriculum. I was going into the female detention centers. Okay. And I was working to, I'm not going to say rehabilitate them, but give them skills, right? Okay. And so I was doing that once a week. I started graduate school. And with the demands of graduate school and working a full-time job, I could not go into the detention centers as much as I wanted to. And eventually that ended up stopping. So one of the things that I noticed when I would work with the girls, so I would work with them in the detention center, and once they transitioned out, I became a part of, or my organization became a part of their treatment plan. So one of the things that I noticed about their behavioral issues and how they even got there, 9 times, not 10 out of 10, but 9 times out of 10, it started at home. Okay. And who are they living with? Their mom. So I said, okay, well, I don't have time to go out to the detention center every week, but I do have time. I can sit right here in my apartment and I can get on the phone and do a call for women. Okay. And that's what I started doing. Wow. Started doing a call for women, and it started with a Bible study every Wednesday. That that transitioned or grew into, now we're doing 3 calls a week. One was talking about dealing with grief, because I had a girlfriend of mine who had lost her husband, and so she was while she was processing that herself, she was helping other women deal with that. Another call was the Bible study, and another call, which was our most popular call, was Think Like a Man. Really? And I had one of my really good friends. He got on there was it Think Like a Man? No, it wasn't Think Like a Man. It was called something about getting into the man, what the man thinks or whatever. Yes. It wasn't Think Like a Man though. But so he would get on there every Thursday. That was like the biggest call. Men and women got on that call from all over.
How many people did you have on the call?
Roughly? Oh man. We would sometimes get up into like the hundreds. Wow. Yeah, on that one. Yep. So then I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be doing this Bible study, then I want to
learn.
I grew up, my dad's a pastor, so I grew up in church.
Okay.
But I was like, if I'm going to be doing this Bible study, then I need to learn, like really get into it, right? Because I really wanted to help these women, and I wanted to be like the Black Joyce Myers at the time.
I don't know Joyce Myers, but shout out.
She's a pastor.
Okay.
On television. Have you heard of Juanita Bynum?
No.
So they're like these pastors on TV, really inspirational with, using religion to, be inspirational, whatever, taking from the Bible. So I was like, if I'm going, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to do, right? So I was like, I need to go to seminary. My dad went to seminary. I have preachers in my family. They went to seminary. So I was like, I'm going to go to seminary. So I moved back down here and went to seminary over at the ITC. And then that's where about the first year, I was like, why did I go to seminary? I should have went back to finish or did another stint in culinary school.
Got you. But you were chasing impact. You remember you were on my live the other day, right? And I was breaking down the difference between impact-driven entrepreneurs, revenue-driven entrepreneurs, and freedom, right? People who are making decisions, and these things change in different phases. And I remember you said freedom.
Yes, freedom.
But at this time, you were like, getting to know your impact side.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense because it tied back to your dad.
Yeah.
So it really was like, it just made a lot of sense. It wasn't going to be linear, which doesn't surprise us that you go
all over the place.
But honestly and truly, as I'm listening, it sounds like it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And maybe even in the moment, like, did it bring up any anxiety? Like, yeah, you were going all over the place, but were you enjoying the ride?
I actually was.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
So even if we look at hindsight, we're like all over the place. I think all over the place is what we want, honestly. We just don't want the anxiety with the all over the place. Because people like, oh, I have to figure it out. I got to figure it out. But it's like, yeah, you're figuring yourself out.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I was thinking about is, okay, now it's kind of like Keedra's Kitchen was born. And you had your first time to specialize in something. Like, what was your specialty in, like, when you were cooking in the seminary?
Soul food.
Soul food.
That's what I knew. Soul food.
Just the traditional African American soul food.
Yep, soul food. So, but then I would get a little creative, and I would do like a salmon salad or slider burgers. But the crux of it was like the fried chicken or like the baked chicken. I had a choice of fried chicken, baked chicken, collard greens, green beans, macaroni and cheese, sweet potato, all that stuff. Or then I would do like, quesadillas, mix it up a little bit, quesadillas and, stuff like that. I was just in there cooking, whatever I felt like cooking. Yeah. Sweet and sour chicken, just anything.
Okay, so you started to experiment again.
Yeah.
So how long were you in school? Did you get your degree in seminary? Okay.
I did. Yep. So I was in school for 3 years.
Okay.
But after, so the last year I did that for 2 years, and then the last year I did not actually. No, I did that for 1 year actually.
Okay.
Then I tried to go out and like sell plates in like the barbershops like that. That didn't work.
Oh, why not?
It just didn't.
Different clientele.
Yeah, people were just like, I don't know you. You know. So that didn't work. It wasn't until after graduating, I ended up substitute teaching, and because I needed some money, and I went back to what I knew, hotels. So I was working at a hotel downtown Atlanta, but I also signed up for substitute teaching. I got a phone call, and this is right here is where everything changed for me. I got a phone call from the substitute teaching line, and they wanted a teacher at one of the schools for culinary arts. Yeah. So I said, I was on the phone, and I was like, I'm at work. And I took the call at work. It's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm on the phone like, should I take this? Should I take this? Should I take this? Finally, I just pressed the button, like, taking it. They said, you have until, so you have 30 minutes to get there.
But why were you not sure if you were going to take it?
Because I was at this job. I had just started this job a week ago. So I went back in and I was like, I just made up this story. I gotta go. A family emergency is a big emergency, but I didn't want to be specific because I ain't putting it in the universe, but family emergency. I think at the time, one of my friend's mom was in the hospital. So I said, I used that. Family emergency, in the hospital. I got to go. And she said, okay, hope everything's okay. And I went to the school. I never had an interview with them. And they ended up hiring me.
Oh my gosh.
And I worked there for 2 years.
This was like an alignment.
It very much so was. I walked in and the assistant principal, I said, hey, I'm here for the substitute teaching position in culinary. And she said, okay, what's your background? And I told her my background. She's like, you want a job? And I said, yeah. And so they took me around to the classroom. Went in the classroom, kids was in there. I said, okay, hey y'all, a couple of periods later, the department head came over to the class. So okay, so this is the thing for the standards for the school year, and this is how everything goes. And we would like to I hadn't even been there like 2 hours. We want to offer you a long-term sub position. Wow. And so I said, okay, I can do long-term sub.
Now, in terms of the revenue, were you leaving behind? Was this a pay increase or a pay decrease?
I can't remember. Girl, I wasn't making too much, so it
we weren't thinking of nothing else.
No, it was not. But the pay increase came when they hired me on permanently from the long-term sub to the permanent teacher in the school. And then I had access to this large kitchen in the school. It was literally like a kitchen in a restaurant.
Like a commercial kitchen.
Yes, it was a commercial kitchen.
Let me pause you real quick because
okay.
I need to make sure that you are clear. I just realized part of what I didn't do was adjust the lens. Okay, we're good to go. So commercial kitchen.
Yes. So it was a commercial kitchen. And it was in December, and they wanted something for the staff, like a dinner, like Christmas or something like that. So I could not get into the kitchen in the classroom unless I was a permanent teacher. So they was like, okay, we need you to apply. They fast tracked it, and bam, I had a permanent position. They didn't even know if I could cook. Didn't even know if I could. I just told them that I could.
Yeah.
And so
you never even had a chance.
I never interviewed.
Wow.
Nothing. And so then they opened up the kitchen, and I was taking a class in there. I was teaching them, and we did one of the events at the school, and that was the first time. And so from there, that's how I met my mentors. I used to set up competitions in the classroom for the kids for their final exams. And I would reach out to different people in the community or people that I wanted to connect with. Yeah. Hey, you want to come be a judge for our chopped competition for students? You want to come be a judge for Cupcake Wars? I had my baking class doing Cupcake Wars. I had my advanced class doing chop. And the people that I wanted to connect with, I invited them to come be judges. And that's how I got 2 of my mentors.
Wait a minute. You are doing some amazing things. First of all, career lane. You like making all the networking moves, right?
Yeah.
And then you're making these like really good connections. It seems like at this point you know where you're going, or at least you know the type of mentors you wanted to have.
I knew that at some point I was not going to be teaching forever.
Okay.
And so now that I was in this kitchen, I just started getting catering requests.
Oh, wow.
From people. And then people referring me. And so now I have this kitchen to work out of. And I had students, and I was putting them to work in the culinary club because I was over the culinary club, and I had the students, and now they're in the kitchen helping me, so now I have help, and then that's how it started. I knew that I did not have a teaching degree, so I could only be there for 2 years.
Okay.
So I knew that at some point it was going to end.
Okay.
So how that looked, that's where I had to decide. And I still didn't know. I just know that moving forward, I wanted these people to be my mentors because I saw what they were doing on social media and I wanted to do that. One of them was, at the time, he was Monica's personal chef. Okay. So I invited him and I said, hey, come judge. And then I was told about another lady and I saw her on social media and I was like, oh yeah. Come to find out they were good friends. So they both came and judged, and now both of them are my mentors, and I've gone catering for the NFL with them, Mary J. Blige with them. One of them I'm going to Napa next month or in November. So like they've really enhanced my culinary experience, which was what I wanted to begin with.
I'm so floored by your experience. We could go on and on because I'm curious about the kids. I'm curious about all those things. But at this point, you had soul food, like this foundational soul food background, and you started at like a business. You started your business since there, and then you build up. I would say in this space, fill in the gaps for me. But you're getting mass cooking experience. You're getting instructing experience. You're getting your catering experience in this chapter. Am I missing anything? That's dope. So now we're piecing together this like foundation of who you are when you come to us today. So in 2022. What is the value that you offer right now? Like, what is the, what would you say as you take all those experiences and you put it into what you offer today? Like, what exactly is the experience of Keedra's Kitchen?
Oh, we're gonna get some good food. You're gonna get some. And so I can be very, I'm not a braggy type person, you know what I'm saying? I let my stuff speak for itself.
Oh, I can speak for it.
However,
yes.
When it comes to my food, I'm not going to be humble and sit back about that. I'm going to be like, oh, that's going to be good. You're going to enjoy it because I like to eat it. And listen, so I'm going to let you know this food going to be real good, okay? So that's the first experience that you're going to have. It's just some good food. Even if everything else is wrong, you're going to have some really good food, period.
Listen, y'all, okay. I'm telling you, when you can sauce up the vegan food, because people don't put love into the vegan food. They typically give it's like you give the abundance to the vegan food. But if you don't, by the time you get to vegan food and you don't give it anything, that means there wasn't much to give in the other stuff. Yeah. You give a really good plate of food.
Thank you. And just my overall love and passion for just food, period. That's what you're gonna get. And then and it helped me to develop my businesses, how I want to be, how just the brand, Keedra's Kitchen, the brand. What I want you to experience. Yes. I want you to experience excellence. Yes. When you hire me, I want you to experience it looks good, it tastes good, it smells good, professionalism. Everything is, I created menus, so you can go look at a menu. You can, what I'm saying? It's the transition of it all. Just booking is very easy. Deciding what you want, us working on the menu, very easy. All that's just easy. Yes. And I developed all of that during that time. And I was able to kind of just perfect it during that time.
I was gonna say the experience that I had, of course, was the food, but then also when you mentioned at the seminary where you made it really nice, you had the flowers, so they had a dine-in or a take-out experience. It reminds me of what I've experienced of your catering to be very elegant, right? It's not an afterthought. Decoration, decor is not an afterthought. That's truly a part of your brand. So I can see that, and I remember you saying that. So they get that, and I was also thinking because I know you do private catering. When it comes to this experience that you have, you seem to have a really good handle on working with like celebrity or high profile clients. What is it about you that makes it really easy or makes it comfortable for like celebrities to let you in and feed them?
I get starstruck before and after, not during. You know, so when I had got my first celebrity client, it was right before Christmas, and I was on the phone. I got the phone call on one phone, and I had another call on this phone, and so I was going back and forth. They were calling me. Okay, we're gonna call you right back. Calling me, call you right back. And on this phone, this person was hearing everything, and so I'm like, oh my god, do you hear that? Da-da-da. Yes. Oh yeah, that's no problem. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm gonna cook for. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's what they need. Perfect. All right, see you in the morning. Oh my god. So because like they're celebrities, and so I think that people when they say that they don't get excited. I think that they're not really keeping it all the way real. I mean, especially like for your first or second, client or celebrity client. And even after that, like I still was like, wow, did I just really cook for this person? But I try to go in there and I just remind myself I'm here to prepare good food. That's it. I'm not here to be their friend. I'm not here to get their autograph. I'm here to, and I want them to call me back. I want them to feel comfortable with calling me. I want them to, when you go into their houses and you're cooking like in the middle of their house, in their kitchen. I've been at a celebrity's house for the whole entire weekend. And by the end of the weekend, you feel like you're a part of their family because you're there cooking breakfast and dinner. And so you see all that goes on around. They come in the kitchen and talk to you. You hear what's going on. So you kind of have to just be like, hold your head down a little bit and just not pay attention. When they come, you talk, laugh with them, but still being professional about it. So I think that's what makes it easy for it to bring me in, because myself nor my staff who go with me, we don't do the starstruckness when we get in there. We're just get in there, do what we got to do, make sure this food is good. If you tell me it's good, then I'm going to get real excited in front of you, But other than that, you just go in there and get your job done. Do what you got to do.
I love it. And then even, like you said, afterwards, because now they're pleased, your food is good. It's okay if you be like,
so then I'm in the car like,
we did that.
Yeah, I just cooked for yes. In the car, like going crazy.
Yes.
I remember my first one, boy, I was on a high from that for like a whole week. I'm going back to Facebook like, hey y'all, I just cooked for, you know what I'm saying? Really, really excited. So yeah, but you gotta keep it separate. You know what I'm saying? You can't let them see that part.
Absolutely. And you know what? I even take that with me, right? Because this is the Work and Play podcast. So I envision your life as such. There's so many different variations of work and play.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've grown to understand as a human, as a woman, as a coach, there still require boundaries, right?
Yes,
and so you don't come into someone's house. Yes, you're working a plan, but you understand how to navigate in that space and enjoy yourself and allow them to enjoy you. So the test, I would say, for a lot of regular people is when you get around folks who are of high energy, high vibration, can you handle yourself?
Right.
I think that speaks to your ability to navigate a bunch of different situations. Also your background, like if we were to spend like another hour, I think mom, dad probably sprinkled in some elegance, some professionalism in you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Because it's like mom will take you to the store and maybe you haven't been there before, but my mom is going to be like, act like we've been here.
Act like you, right. act like you belong here.
Act like you belong here.
Yeah, and that's it right there. Act like you belong here. I belong in this kitchen in your house, and I'm gonna act like I do.
Yeah.
And when I get out, I'm gonna act a damn fool, be like, but while I'm here, I'm gonna act like I belong here.
I love it.
Because I do.
Exactly.
I do. My food is that good.
Listen.
It belongs.
Yes, ma'am.
In your mouth.
In your home.
In your home.
Raising your babies.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
the whole shebang.
Yes.
So we're talking, went from seminary, right? Then to a substitute chefing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're elevating. Even the job that you left to get the role at the school, you're elevating not only in your cooking, but monetarily. I'm curious, like at the point where, and we haven't even got to your 9 to 5, but at the point where you are starting to find your niche in chefing, what does the average chef or someone in the beginning of their stages earn? And then what are some of the, what's the earning potential, or what's the price of what you do? Like around what average do you charge these days?
So some of that I can answer, some of that I can't. Because I'll tell you this. After I left the school, I went to go work in a restaurant. And I was making, now, some people would say I was crazy, and I think I was crazy too. But I went from making almost $50,000 a year at the school to making $9 an hour in a restaurant. And then when I got promoted in the restaurant, I was making $12 an hour. And I was willing to do that because I felt like there were some more things that I wanted to get. However, what I was not willing to do was to be treated and talked to however, especially when I came in there. Like, and you don't get a lot of people that, I saw the turnover in restaurants high. You don't get a lot of people who come in and pour their heart and their soul into what they do. So when you get people like that, you have to value them, you have to appreciate them, you have to elevate them, like you have to treat them as such. So when you get, I was in a position where I was giving my heart, my soul, my everything, mind, body, time. I was moving from one apartment to another, and I had to, like, the people who were helping me move, I had to leave them. And they finished moving for me so that I could get into the restaurant
and do your job
and do my job. And so that wasn't appreciated. That was the moment when I left there. I've never gone back to a job. Never. And I never will again. I called up my mentor and was like, hey, listen, this just happened. I need to meet with you because now I need to know what I need to do to pivot into making this my time, whatever. And so from there, I just haven't worked since. You haven't worked for since. Somebody else, yeah. And then so I get told by my other mentor that I don't charge enough, you know. But she gets on me all the time. You don't charge enough. You don't charge enough.
Yeah.
You don't
so
charge
that means
enough.
by the time this episode comes out, y'all, listen, the price. What did DJ Khaled say? No, that was whoever that was. Big
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
Yeah,
he said the price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. So when your mentor says that,
So just yesterday, just yesterday, I sent her something. I was asking her opinion. This is what they want. It's on Thanksgiving Day. And she was like, girl, oh, no. Raise that up, raise this up, because she's like, you are giving that. She's like, she always asks me, she says, now ask yourself this. Is this worth the time that you're going to put into it? Is this worth your whole Thanksgiving Day? Is this worth whatever? And I'm like, dang, no. She's like, okay. Well, this is what you need to charge, and this is what your invoice needs to look like. And then I'm always like, oh my God. She's like, don't be scared about it. Put it out there. And one thing she told me was that in order to elevate myself, I cannot accept less than what I'm worth, because if I do, that's what I'm going to keep attracting. If I want to be in a certain position financially, if I want to position myself as, this is what you get, yada yada yada. She's like, she tells me all the time, she's like, you know what you're doing, it's worth it. Yeah. And so if that's the clientele that I want to attract, then even when I go to celebrities' houses, you better charge them such. Don't be charging them this and this. Like, she will go off on me, telling me, but she says if you keep in this price range, then that's what you're gonna keep attracting. Yeah. And it's very hard for me because I want to go in and I want to cook for you. I don't want you to tell me no.
Exactly. So you want to
cook for you.
My dad says that. He says offer the price that they can't say no to. But the other thing that I would add to everything that your mentor says and everything that you're saying right now is, imagine I make $30 million in a year, right? Mm-hmm. And I need to spend this holiday with my family. Mm-hmm. Now, thinking in opportunity cost, if I spend the day cooking with my family, one, I'm irritated. I have to cook the food myself. I might not even enjoy it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I could possibly be on a business call for maybe 30 minutes, which could yield me $1,000 mm-hmm. or two, or a couple hundred, mm-hmm. and all these things that I could possibly do with my day. Now, if I invest in someone whose job this is, right, mm-hmm. you could possibly be the value of what my day is worth. Mm-hmm. This could possibly be $1 million day for me. Mm-hmm. But instead, I'm cooking and I'm dealing with these people. I can't mm-hmm. enjoy my family. Mm-hmm. I didn't take that business call. Mm-hmm. So just off of the strength of like what my life would be, the opportunity cost of me being there, the value, that's how I always think of my prices. It's kind of like, what is the return on investment of me getting this day back? Yeah, right, yeah. So out of all that stuff you mentioned, absolutely, like your worth and your time, but then what am I getting back? Right. It's kind of like, you can't put a price tag on me being able to read a book with my daughter on Thanksgiving. Yeah, exactly. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's been my, that's where I'm trying to grow mm-hmm. in right now, mm-hmm. is charging what I'm worth. Because I know what I bring. If you're going to call me, I know what you're going to get, you know? Mm-hmm. But I want to go in and I want to cook for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even about the money. Mm-hmm. It's exactly about what you just said. I can't put a price tag on what I am going to miss out on if I come in and cook for you, or if I spend the day preparing mm-hmm. your meal to, cater and stuff like that. But the passionate part of me just wants to come and just cook. Yeah. So it's kind of hard. It's hard for me. It's my mentor telling it's not hard at all. But so that's currently what I'm working on mm-hmm. is just charging what I'm worth, even with the people that have it. Yeah. Because, like I said, she gets me like, you better be charging him such and such and such and such and such. And I'm like, okay. We all are growing. So wait, 2013 is when you established Keedra's Kitchen, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you've evolved since. But it sounds like, you got your mentor, what year was that?
2018.
18. Mm-hmm. Got you. Because what I'm thinking is, as entrepreneurs, we do a lot on our own, just figuring it out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's not until we get that mentor, right, that we realize, okay, we're filling in the gap. Mm-hmm. And then, have you taken your entrepreneur journey to a place where you're investing in a coach yet? Or is that something that you'd be interested in? Because I think that's what I got from coaching, right? Mm-hmm. To borrow someone else's belief in my pricing and mm-hmm. stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Because when I was in corporate, people's time wasn't valued. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you could put 30 minutes on a CEO or maybe the vice president's calendar mm-hmm. and go walk the hallways with them. So it took for me to shift a couple of things, and it wasn't until I invested in a coach that I realized, it just unlocked mm-hmm. my ability and my mm-hmm. confidence to be able to charge certain things.
So I feel like I get that with my mentors. Not only do I call on them, but I also a lot of times I work side by side with them. We did with another one of my other mentor, we did production catering for Netflix and Crime Scene Kitchen, and I worked side by side with him. Not so much for Netflix, but for Netflix, kind of sort of, but more so with Crime Scene Kitchen, and I ran the production of the whole, once we got on site, how that looks and everything like that. I understand. It's just I completely understand all the value that I provide. I completely understand it, you know. And I also understand that by setting a certain price, it's also communicating a value to the client as well. It's just that I just don't because I want to go in and I just want to cook, you know. So it's just getting past
that part of this entrepreneurship journey. It's just getting the reps up, because at some point you are going to have your own soccer game. Somebody's gonna ask you to cook, and that's probably where it'll be like, it's only gonna be worth it if you get what I'm saying, and then it's gonna be worth it for them too. I'll take it.
You know what? I'm actually there now with this person that I've been working with that wants a book. It's like, listen, I cannot go below this number. It's way below what my mentor told me to charge, but I'm like, I cannot go below. It's on a holiday. I cannot go below this number, because I'm going to be with you for brunch. That means I have to get started at 6:00 in the morning, and then you want dinner, and that's my whole holiday, and so it has to be this much. And as much as I want to go in there and just cook the brunch and cook the dinner, I am sticking to it's hard. It's been very hard. I've been wanting to just okay, well, I could just come out. No, I am sticking to this is how much my day is worth on this particular day. And you're not going to tell me how much you're going to pay me. And it's not to be it's not to be any type of arrogance or anything, but you're not going to tell me how much my day is worth. I'm going to tell you. And if you're able to pay that worth, then we have a deal. But if not, because I understand what I'm doing for you on this particular day. But you don't understand what I'm giving up on this particular day.
And that's right. So it's kind of like we have to train our customers.
Yes.
That's what you're doing right now.
Yes. And I'm training myself.
To say no.
To say no.
Yeah.
And be okay with saying no.
Yes. A lot of us, and you know, I don't know the white woman's journey or any other races, so I'm going to speak to the black woman. But there's so much abundance at our fingertips that we don't either value ourselves, and I mean it in the way that I'm saying it, because we walk into the rooms and we don't realize people are getting so much from us, so we are more timid often, and we don't realize the access that other people have to things that we work so hard to get. And so this is a really great exercise of just changing your cellular makeup, because we keep breeding other black women who just keep moving like this, and not to be a strong black woman, not to be a powerful black woman, but just to be a woman who knows her worth, and just to be okay with walking away from the table if you're not
if you're not valuing my worth.
That is so valuable, because that's not in us right now. It's becoming, right? I'm having more and more conversations with women who are like having these conversations. You see it on social media where it's like, my mom told me to know my worth, like these clips, but it's not an essence of who we are yet.
Oh, that's good.
I can't wait. You are
Yeah.
literally like walking us through it, and honestly and truly, I feel like y'all are growing as you're watching it. So you're welcome. I was thinking though, now that you mentioned a couple times, like, I know what they're gonna get, right? And even before we started the podcast, you was like, you broke down the itinerary that you have for this experience that you're building, which we got to talk about next. But walk me through what a client typically gets when you come in and you do private chefing.
So prior to that, so the experience does not start when I come into your house. It starts before that. When we put your menu together, and then I go do all the shopping. So you don't have to shop for anything. And it typically takes me like all day to shop.
Whew.
Because I go to about like 4 or 5 different stores because I know where I can get what I want for this price, this quality, whatever. And that store may be over here and that store may be over there, you know? So I eliminate that in the beginning. You don't have to shop. All you gotta do is just open the door for me to bring all of these groceries in when I arrive at your house. Okay? Yes. So that's because somebody asked me that the other day when they were wanting to book personal chef services. Well, what all does it include? Well, let's start with the shopping. I do all the shopping. And then, like I said, I bring all the food with me, so now I gotta load it up, bring it up with me into the house, unload it in the house, and then
time saver and effort.
Yep. And then I get started with cooking. I usually take an assistant with me, so my assistant helps me with all the unloading, and then just setting everything out as I need it for each dish or whatever. And then I just go in there and I just get to work. And then once I'm finished, depending on what we're doing, whether it's plated or whether it's displayed, then I set that up, the whole entire display of the food. You can't just put it out there. You got to display it.
Yes.
You know? So, and then even after that, after everything's said and done, after everybody's done eating, and I clean up the whole kitchen. And that within itself is...
Girl, that's 3 services in one.
I take down the food, and if it's any left over, then I find in the house like containers to storage containers. Put the food, store it, wash my dishes out, and put the food in the refrigerator for you. And then I clean the whole kitchen down, whether it's washing the dishes or the counters, the stove, the oven, sweeping. If I need to mop, I do a spot mop. But I clean the whole kitchen so that it's sparkling clean by the time that I leave. And I load all my stuff in the car and I go home.
Do they get their leftovers?
Yeah. Yeah, I pack them up and put them in the fridge.
This is the perfect experience. I didn't have to do any work.
No work at all, but just come sit at the table and eat. Yeah.
So do you offer like half a day, breakfast only, or like does it come with a full day? How does that work?
So I typically get started like 4 to 5 hours before. So if you want breakfast at like 11, then I'll come in about 4 or 5 hours before that, and then get started. So sometimes I'm getting started like 5, 6 in the morning at your house. That's not even me waking up and driving to your house. So I come in about 4 hours prior, 4 or 5, and get started. And then I mean it's not really like a time frame designated. I set the food out, let y'all eat, and then after a certain amount of time, I just start breaking it down. Once I see everybody's done eating and nobody's really coming back for seconds, I break it all down and start cleaning up.
Nice. Do you ever do 2 in 1, or do you block out your days for one client?
It depends. I can do 2 in 1 if sometimes I may have like a delivery, and then sometimes I may have an on-site client. So I'll do the delivery, get that out, have somebody deliver it for me, and then I'll head to my on-site client, whether it's personal chef or catering.
Delivery? We didn't even talk about that.
Oh yeah, girl, you gotta get the food delivered.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, that's an option. Do you want, because that affects the cost, impacts the cost. So either I deliver it, and it's a fee for me to show up.
Yeah.
If you want me to come and set your food up, like just with catering, it's a fee for me to physically come. Otherwise, if you choose delivery, then I'm going to, as I finish your food, I'm going to call my delivery service, and they're going to come and get it and deliver it to you, because now I got to finish cleaning up the kitchen.
This is amazing. Like this is like this is the epitome of knowing how to monetize your skill set. There's so many people who, as you walk through this experience, these are skill sets that someone has right now and they're discounting because you don't realize like the way you put together a plate of food is the way you put together a plate of food. The way you attention to detail and you spot clean, the way you are able to shop for someone. Like everybody, I've done Instacart one time. They don't know how to pick, produce.
Right,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you think about like your skills and what you're really, really good at, you have monetized yourself in a way that you know how to add value to someone and you get paid to do that. I think a lot of people need to know that, but I also think it kind of goes back to all the experiences that you had.
Yeah.
Bringing us to 2022, and you plucked out the things that you could enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, if any of those other careers had worked?
No.
What that would have looked like?
They would not have worked. At one time, I was working for the federal government over at the Census Bureau.
You talking about
that
freedom.
That was the most, oh my goodness. That was the hardest time of my life. Having to be here in between this time and that time, at a desk, in a cubicle. I was going crazy. But that is where I developed my nonprofit organization, sitting right at my desk at the government.
That's what you guys need to be doing. Okay.
That's where I put together my whole curriculum.
Okay.
Everything was, I started my LLC. Everything was done sitting at the desk at my job.
That's so bomb. Oh, we gotta talk about that. So in another episode, because it just brings back so much stuff. But you went to the service-based business, and as entrepreneurs, diversification is like what promotes longevity. So you have catering, you now have private chefing, you deliver as well. So what are some of the things that you offer product-wise that will allow someone to take your products and bring them home with them?
The only thing for product-wise that I have are teas now. So again, in the pandemic, I was sitting at home and I needed some money, and I was like, what can I sell just online, Facebook, Instagram, friends, stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. And so I was like, I'm going to sell herbal teas or herbal and flower teas, right?
And how did you get that? You like tea? You drink tea a lot?
I do.
Okay.
I like herb and flower tea, and I like natural stuff. So, and I used to be a really big fan. Are you familiar with Teavana?
I'm not.
Teavana, oh my God. Teavana is like so good. Okay. But it's like loose leaf tea. They have like so many varieties. It's so good. And so I was like, I'm gonna put together a tea line. So I started researching my herbs and stuff. And I actually went and did like a little online class and degree to like, learn herbs and the benefits of them and what herbs not to mix, and like certain herbs that you can't have if you're not supposed to drink rose tea, have anything rose if you're pregnant. Okay. Because rose will induce premature labor. So I had to learn that, because if I was going to be offering this to people, then I needed to make sure that I wasn't, interacting with anything else that they have going on. Right?
Absolutely.
So I just started putting together like blends. I found this place that I could order all of my herbs from, and they're out in California. I ordered my herbs, and I just started blending them up. And I was like, okay, this needs a little bit more lavender. Okay, this is too much lavender. Okay, this needs a little bit more rose. Okay, this has too much chamomile. And I started just playing around like that. My aunt, she's like, well, I need something for like high blood pressure. I said, okay. Started researching hibiscus. So I put together a hibiscus tea for her that deals with like high blood pressure, diabetes, and stuff like that. So I now have a tea line. And then I did like a special. I was like, hey guys, I'm starting a tea line. You can get 3 teas for the price of, I think, 2 or whatever. And you'll get them over the course of 3 months.
That is so cool.
And so the first month they got there. So they paid up front so that I could get all of my supplies. And then I mailed them out 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months. So it was like a little subscription of tea.
How did you think of that?
I just be thinking of stuff, girl. I was just trying to think of something ways to make some money.
Listen, this is so dope. Okay, so you said 3 months?
Yeah,
subscription.
As a 3 month subscription. For the price of 2 teas, you get 3. and I'll send them to you. And actually, I didn't even do 3 months. So the second month, I started seeing like the cost of like shipping, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not gonna work. I can't, because I didn't charge shipping 3 times. I only charged it once.
Okay.
So that second month, they're gonna get 2 of their teas, the remaining 2. And in the box, I put like a little card, surprise, you got both of your
2.
teas.
Yes.
No need to wait. And then I
So
set up
good.
a website, and I was like, and so people were just like, "Oh my God, these teas are so good," and they were start ordering the teas or whatever. So so you can get loose leaf tea. I make all the blends myself. I have a variety of them. I think I have like 9 blends right now, and I'm working on adding some more.
I was gonna ask you that. So they get to try different blends every subscription, like every.
No, so it's not a subscription.
Okay.
That was just to get started. So I didn't fund that.
Okay.
My people that bought the teas funded it.
Okay, got you.
Yes.
So they purchased
I did
it.
a pre-sale. Hey, you can get 3 teas for $20. But you can only get it on this pre-sale. I ran a pre-sale for like a week, and people were like, "Oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. Oh, I want that." I showed them like, I think I had like pulled some pictures of herbs and stuff off the internet. I was like, "This is, like loose leaf herbs, whatever.
Yeah.
This tea, something." So when I finally did it, then I showed them like the real tea when I finally ordered it.
Yes.
But I needed their money to order it.
Absolutely.
So I did a pre-sale, $20, 3 teas, include shipping, and that's what I used to buy all of my supplies, all the teas, and then I sold them out. I created labels on the laptop, and I printed them out. We got that little label paper, printed it out, wrapped it around the thing. And then when I started making more money with it, then I upgraded to like containers. And I actually am here pretty soon going to upgrade the containers to something else a little bit more elegant and sophisticated than what it is now. But yeah, I started it off. I didn't have no money during the pandemic, so I was like, I need to make some money, and y'all gonna pay for it.
I love the way you think. I love it's all natural. Like from your desire to find your career, right? You tried a couple things. From your desire to get some money, you got started with the seminary, right? And then you're like, okay, this I need to make some money. It's always apparent, but you living through your passion. So it's always fun because you're just trying all these different things.
It's always fun. I do not want to work another day in my life. I just want to live my life.
Just want to live your life
and get paid to do it.
So as we are like, I'm thinking the word freedom pops up, right? If you could sum it up, because I feel like this whole story says freedom, but what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom, that's free. Okay, this in the simplest form to me is my time. Just being able, and again, this is the simplest form to me. Just being able to move how I want to move, and nobody telling. If I don't want to take your catering, I don't have to. Yeah. If I don't want to be here, then I don't have to. If I want to, be available for family, or available for this, or available for that, then I have the freedom to do that. I don't want anybody regulating my time unless I allow them to. And when I say allow them to, that means you've booked me. So I've allowed you to regulate my time for this particular day. Yes. But other than that, I want my time to belong to me. I used to hate working at a job and having to put in for leave, and then feel guilty about it. And some mornings I didn't even want to get up to go to work. And so if I'm having a bad day today, I want the freedom to just be able to lay in my bed or do whatever I need to do, to love on myself or self-care or whatever, to get myself back into my space. And if I need a day or 2 or 3 to do that, then I want the freedom to be able to do that. Like I said, my stepdad had passed away in 2019, and I wasn't working for anybody. And so when my mom called me, she was like, I need you to come down here. I was there the next day, and I had the freedom to be able to do that, My grandmother had got sick at the beginning of this year and had surgery. So me and my mom had to go to DC to stay with her, or Maryland to stay with her. And we stayed there for about a week. I had the freedom to be able to do that. Those and those are the two examples that I use, because those are the times when like family were in need. Yeah. And I don't want to look back one day and be like, my family or somebody who I care about needed me, and I wasn't able to do it because I was locked down in a job. You know. So that's the most important thing to me, is the freedom of my time and just my life, what I do, how I do it.
That's extremely powerful. That is extremely powerful. And I think that through this entire journey, we get to experience you as a businesswoman, as a woman, as an I was gonna say entrepreneur, but really and truly, like, you personally and career-wise, like your whole development and putting all of these things together, what you really value, and being able to live that out, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like, even, you're welcome. Like, even so, for someone who wants to do business with you, I can see it. You know what I mean? Because when you come into my house, you bring that energy, right? And so as a client, as someone who watches you, as a mentor, as a mentee, right? This is the energy that you literally bring in. And honestly and truly, it was the energy that I met, right? It's just like, you should be on the podcast. Like, you should come. So, one, I thank you so much for being here. 100%.
Thank you.
I have one last question and we can wrap up, but I would love to drop just a word of wisdom to someone who's in their journey, who's not even sure what they want to do yet, or perhaps they know what they want to do, but they haven't really come around to the words freedom just yet. When you think back to the person who needs to hear your story, what do you want to say to that person?
So a lot of times my family, they say to me, you ain't afraid of anything, are you? Because I'll just get out there and just do it. Sometimes I don't know how it's gonna turn out, and I be broke as a joke sometimes. I have been broke as a joke sometimes, you know. And I just be like, this is what I want to do though, and this somebody gonna support me. If the universe gonna support me, somebody over here gonna support me. So I guess I would say the word of wisdom is to be fearless. One of the things that people always ask me about entrepreneurship, and I say, you cannot afraid to be broke. Be afraid to stay broke, but don't be afraid to be broke. Because there's been times where I've poured everything that I've had into something that I've believed in, and it literally, I was like, shit, how am I gonna pay my rent? You know? But because I believed in it, I felt like I had to do it, and I was able to pay the rent. So, you know, I'm not afraid to go broke or be broke. Well, now that ain't a problem.
Right, your broke is a different number.
Yes. But I am afraid to stay in that place, to put everything that I have, and then just be like, okay, now what do I do? You know? So that takes me to like have a plan, you know? It's like I would sit and I would just think like, okay, I kind of work backwards. This is the end result that I want. Now, how do I get there? And I work from the end back to where I'm at now to figure out how to get the end result. And then after I figured, and I like, oh my God, I'll toil for so long until it fits exactly what I want. Like, it has to fit. It cannot be a square in a circle or a circle in a square. It has to fit exactly what I want. And so I'll be toiling and like, oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Oh, there it goes. Finally got it. Okay, no, that's not, okay, let's tweak that. And then, you know, so with that plan, then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. to just jump all in and make it work. Now, a lot of people say that's not smart, you know, because I've left a job with like not knowing what I was gonna do, no plan, no nothing. A lot of people, they be like, "Oh, use your 9 to 5 to fund your side or your entrepreneur, your hot side hustle." And for me, I just say this: if that works for you, do it. If it doesn't, don't. That didn't work for me. I didn't want to do that. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out here and I may be broke for a little while, but it's only gonna be a little while.
Yes.
And because I know I didn't want to, that's just not how I wanted to do it. So, so like you be fearless. Don't be afraid to be broke. Be afraid to stay broke and have a plan.
This might be my favorite episode. Really? I'm about to say that on the podcast.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, yes, and for so many reasons. But I think that the universe puts you in this couch in this very moment on this day where everything is going on in your life, everything is going on in my life, and things are going on in you guys' lives, that this is touching you in a very practical way, in a way that, you know, communicates. Yes, if you need to plan, if you have to have a plan, if you're a good planner, go that way. But this is really communicating the leap of faith. You get what I'm saying? And it's not just so some people don't have a true faith in God, right? Or their creator, right? But it's not just that type of faith. It's faith in yourself.
Yeah. Look, I know I can make anything shake and pop, okay? So I know I can. Like, I sold teas without having an ounce of tea in my possession. Like no nothing. I had not a container, all I did was a promotion. Buy this tea and you will get 3. That's it. I had nothing physical. But the orders were coming in. Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh, that looks good. Da, 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 da. And I was able to start that business. I put no money into that business because and then every time that somebody would buy more teas, then I would just buy more stuff. And I let it grow itself. So it's like, it's the faith that you have to have, like, in yourself, in your idea. Somebody gonna buy this tea.
Somebody else gonna buy this, and I'm gonna fulfill it on the back end.
I'm gonna fulfill it on the back end, So it's just you're right. The faith you gotta have, like, in yourself. It's been many times I'll be like, oh, all right, come on, spirit. You know, it's the faith you gotta have in spirit. And spirit always comes through. Period. It may not. I was just the other day. I was saying, oh my God, it may not be exactly when I want it, but in the very end, spirit is gonna always come through.
Yes.
You know, so.
Thank you again. Oh, goodness gracious. So before we get out of here, I would love for you to let the folks know, one, what exactly you are, or how to find you, right? What you're offering, how can they get connected with you? And leave them your contact information so that they can get you. Okay. So on social media, everything is Keedra's Kitchen, KEEDRAS Kitchen. Everything is Keedra's Kitchen. Website Keedra's Kitchen. IG, Facebook, Keedra's Kitchen. All of that. So. And you have your teas now. Those you guys, because I know y'all are like, let me get a little bit of that tea, right? Can I show them the tea? Absolutely. Let's check it out. So listen, so it comes in. This is the container that I want to change. I actually want to put it in like a glass container. I had a feeling we were gonna go there. So that you can see. But I'm gonna take this little seal. So it has a food safety seal on it. I'm gonna break the seal. Okay. All right. And this is the ginger tea. So it comes in a bag. And like it's straight up herbs, spices, all natural. I blended it myself. Let me smell it. Open it up. You open it and smell it. And then this is the hibiscus tea. Oh my goodness. And then you have the tea bags, which honestly I'm super excited to try. Because I'm like, I get to do my own like portion of tea. You know what I mean? Instead of doing 2 bags of a tea bag.
So here, you can smell this. This is the hibiscus one.
Okay. Let me let you pass that one. There you go. Ooh, this one smells like fruity.
It is, yeah, that's really fruity.
Wine.
It has currants in it. So I've actually made kombucha from that right there.
Wow.
I used that and made kombucha out of it.
Oh, I'm so excited
Out
to
that
try
blend.
these.
This is the ginger. Yep. And then the teas are Earthly Rootz, earthlyroots.com. Roots has a Z at the end.
Okay.
So earthlyroots.com.
Okay.
Those are how you can get the tea. Oh, and actually if you use a coupon code,
Let's go.
Work and Play, you can get some a little bit of money off.
Look, I feel a little official. You guys got a treat. I feel so good.
Okay.
Now, thank you for watching. Now, this is your treat. All you got to do is go ahead and grab yourself some tea, and we can even talk about it together. So if y'all like whichever one you like, drop it in the comments. When you guys start to see this come through, drop it in the comments. Let me know what your favorite one is so we can talk about it, because I'm getting ready to test all of these out.
Yeah.
I'm actually becoming more of a tea drinker myself.
Okay. Yeah, I have some tea probably about 2 or 3 times a day. Like even I use them to for like my moods.
Really?
So roses hold one of the highest vibrations in flowers, and so I have a rose tea. So if I'm at any course of the day, if I'm just off, I'll just make some rose tea, or I have another tea that has rose in it, and I'll make that and I'll drink it to kind of get my energy back centered, because I'm drinking in those high vibrations.
You know how important that is as an entrepreneur. You know, as humans, we are not always on the highest vibration.
Yeah.
And, you know, people do coffee and things like that, which, you know, to each his own. But a rose to just increase my vibration, because I'm like, when you get so down, you can let the self-doubt creep in.
Yeah.
You let all of the overthinking creep in.
Yeah.
You don't want to do work. You don't want to show up for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely, when you don't have a 9 to 5, you don't have like somebody to tell you to work.
Yeah.
That's not the energy that you need. So that rose tea sounds like a bit of business.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a vibe is what it's called.
It's a vibe. That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's a vibe.
I love it. So those of you guys who are watching, thank you so much for making it to the end. And because you made it to the end, you can go ahead and grab your set of teas using the code Work and Play for 10% off, you said?
I think I get 20.
Oh, look at y'all. All right now. So without further, like, if you have any questions, you know where to reach out to.
Yeah.
If y'all want to connect with Keedra, either for her journey or as a client, I just suggest you do what you got to do, all right? Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.